Greetings, everybody, and welcome to my channel, The Healthy Voice. I am Bella. I'm a trauma-informed voice teacher with over 2 decades of teaching experience, over 3 decades of singing and performance experience. And now I help people find their true voice. I help people release the tension that is stuck in their body due to years of unresolved trauma and stress and fear so that you can be more comfortable being your true self. I've put out a 7-week self-paced course called the Voice Liberation Method. People are really enjoying it. They're finding that their tension is being relieved and they're actually learning how to enjoy their voices. And I'm very proud of it. So please check out the link below if you're interested in doing something a little more involved. So today's question that I'm going to answer, by the way, I'm doing a series of questions where I basically answer whatever question you have about your voice. Please put a question in the comments below if you would like me to consider answering it in a future video. So today's question is, can trauma actually change the way your voice sounds? And I would argue that the answer is yes. Yes, 100% yes. And let's talk a little bit about why this is. And so first, let's go ahead and define trauma. And so in the context of this question, what I'm talking about is a series of events that cause chronic stress patterns in your body. Events that cause you to go into a state of hypervigilance that lasts a long time. And trauma tends to be a code word for abuse. So if you've ever been in a situation where your dignity was not respected and this was going on for an extended period of time, you may relate to symptoms listed in the category of post-traumatic stress disorder or complex post-traumatic stress disorder. If you grew up in a house with parents who had substance abuse problems, or a parent was incarcerated, or if there was ever homelessness in your life, or your school was not safe. Anytime you live in an extended period of hypervigilance where you are constantly concerned about your safety and your dignity, that is what I am referring to as a chronic state of trauma. And what happens is these patterns of hypervigilance get stuck in your body. Your body begins to memorize the muscular patterns of hypervigilance. And so in the context of voice work, let's talk about why I say that this can absolutely affect your voice. So when we think about vocal anatomy, first of all, it's important to know that the whole body affects the voice. And so while we tend to focus on the muscles around the throat and the face and the chest, the truth is the whole body affects your voice because the voice is the body. And so even tension in your legs can affect your voice. Tension in your arms can affect the voice. But in terms of voice work, we tend to focus mainly on the muscles of the throat, the neck, the shoulders, the chest, and the face, because these are the muscles that are the closest to the voice mechanism, to the larynx and to the throat. And of course, there's the tongue too. I don't want to leave that out. Very important, obviously. And so let's just think about for a moment, what happens to a person's body when they are living in a state of chronic fear? So anytime you are feeling any kind of fear, your body goes into a hypervigilant state of survival, protection. No matter what it is, whether you are afraid of being late to an important work meeting or you're being chased by a tiger, it doesn't matter. Your body reacts the same way. Your shoulders will hunch up to protect your neck. They will come forward and your arms will come forward to protect your vital organs. The first thing your body thinks about is staying alive. And so the neck area is very vulnerable and the organs are very vulnerable. And so the first thing your body wants to do is protect these areas. And so if you're living in a situation where you're being demeaned or yelled at, or your livelihood is being threatened, or your safety is constantly being threatened, then you are going to be holding these hypervigilant states. And so what happens when you do that is the muscles around your shoulders become tense. This pulls on your neck muscles. You hold your jaw closed tight because you don't want to upset the person that's abusing you, the person who's violating your boundaries. You want to be careful that you don't say the wrong thing. And so you tense up your jaw, you tense up your tongue. You literally hold your tongue inside your mouth so that you don't say the wrong thing. You are going to feel a normal feeling of outrage that you can't express. And so you're going to bite down on your cheeks. You're going to feel a tension right here. You may be afraid to express your truth through your facial expressions. And so you may either hide a look of joy, or you may over-exaggerate an expression of joy, depending on whatever the situation is. And so these muscles right here are going to be tense. And all of these muscles affect your voice. So if you don't have a relaxed feeling in your throat, what's going to happen is the muscles are going to tighten up and your pitch is going to sound higher than is natural for you. Because anytime you tighten a string, say on a guitar or a piano, anything with a string, a tighter string creates a higher sounding pitch. A looser string creates a lower sounding pitch. And so if you have a lot of tension in your throat, then what's happening is your voice is actually sounding higher than it would if you were more relaxed. Another thing that happens is that your resonance becomes dulled. When I mentioned the muscles of the face, especially these muscles right here, and this muscle that connects the jawbone to the cheekbone, when we clench down, when we tighten up our jaw because we're trying to hold back our expression, our words, our thoughts, we create a chronic feeling of tension right here. And if you can't open up enough, we don't create enough space for the sound to bounce inside your mouth. And so that leads me to resonance. So if you think about a guitar, the body of a guitar, we have the strings over the hole of the guitar. And through that hole is a very big resonating chamber. And when you pluck the strings of the guitar, the vibrations go from the strings and they hit the walls of the guitar and the sound bounces out. And so everybody in the room can hear the guitar. Think about it, this very small object creates sound that resonates through an entire room. And your mouth is like the inside of that guitar. Your chest is also, but I want to stay focused for a moment on the face muscles. So if your jaw is chronically tense, it means you can't open up enough. Your tongue is going to be tense as well. And so you may not be aware of it, but your tongue tends to block a lot of your sound because it lifts up and it blocks the opening of the throat, which means there's only a very small passageway for sound to come through. It would be like if I took a piece of fabric and I covered up half of that hole in the guitar. That means that sound is not coming out as much as it could if you took that fabric away from the hole. And so if your throat is being blocked by your tongue, a very tense tongue, then not enough sound is coming out. So an example of a relaxed tongue is whenever you yawn. Every single time you yawn, which is what happens when you're going into a state of relaxation, your tongue drops down. Your tongue drops down and your soft palate lifts up. And so more sound is able to come through the throat opening. And that's why we utilize the feeling of the yawn in order to train ourselves to open up our throat, to allow more sound to come out. So then there's resonance, which, talking about the cheek muscles. So we have that muscle that goes from the jaw to the cheekbones. Okay, so that's one muscle. But then we have all these other muscles. So think about what happens whenever you smile. The cheek muscles lift up. Now, if you have been in a situation where certain facial expressions were not allowed. I have been in a situation where at school it wasn't safe for me to look happy. And then I was in a situation where it wasn't safe for me to look sad. So I've fluctuated in both situations. Both situations, um, it's better. It's actually, I'll say if I had to choose one over the other, it's better to smile too much than to have to suppress the urge to smile. Because when you suppress the urge to smile, these muscles come down and they cover up your natural resonating bones, which is what we call the mask in voice lessons. Your cheekbones and your sinus bones, these cheekbones especially, are powerful resonators. And all this tissue blocks the resonators. Again, it's like covering up the hole of the guitar. If my cheeks are down, I'm dulling my sound because my voice can't vibrate against my cheekbones. So that's why we lift our cheeks. We lift our cheek muscles like this when we sing, because this gets the tissue out of the way and allows the sound to resonate off of the cheekbones. And by doing this, you naturally sparkle. You naturally improve your tone. It's easier to be heard. And so the question was, can trauma actually change the sound of my voice? And hopefully I have convinced you that the answer is yes. And so what does this mean if you've removed yourself from the abusive situation? You have walked away from these toxic relationships. You have started your own business and you are no longer around these types of people. Why is your voice still tense? I would argue it's because some of that trauma has not been fully resolved. Good for you for getting out of that situation. That is the first step to healing. But as I learned in my own healing experience, even though I removed all toxic relationships from my environment, there was still unresolved feelings stuck inside of me, unresolved fears. And that's why I include chakra toning practices in my voice work. And yes, in my voice liberation method, there are 7 toning exercises based on each individual chakra point. And the way I use chakras in my sound healing practice is each chakra represents some energetic point of being a human. And so if there's unresolved fear around safety and survival, then that is going to resonate in what we call the root chakra. And each chakra has an assigned pitch and an assigned sound. And by singing on these tones for several minutes, at least 5 minutes, more if you can, what you end up doing is you end up tuning these chakra points. And so things begin to change. And this was a big part of my own healing practice. And that's why I include it in my method, because the law of entrainment says that a resonating force will find a like resonating force and they will merge together. It's also true that a dominating force will influence another force and force it to sync up. And so by using our own voices to tune our chakra points, we go ahead and we actually start to break up this blocked tension in our energy bodies, very much like how a massage therapist breaks up muscular tension with pressure and vibration. So your voice is also a pressure field and it's a vibration force. And so by using your voice with focused intention and very specific sounds, you can start to break up this unresolved tension in your energy body. And every chakra point has a different symbol. So I mentioned the root chakra is safety. The second chakra has to do with creativity, and sexuality. The third chakra is power and will. The fourth chakra has to do with love. The fifth chakra is our voice, our truth, our expression, our authenticity. The third eye point is our intuition. And the crown chakra has to do with our connection to everything. And so any one of these things can become out of tune based on our traumatic experiences. And so my solution is to the problem that yes, trauma can change your voice, and your voice can heal your trauma. So if that's interesting to you, please check out my course, The Voice Liberation Method. I think you're going to really enjoy it. I hope that this helped you out. If you have any questions that you would like me to cover in a video, please leave it in the link below. Don't forget to keep going, keep working on your voice, keep uncovering your true, authentic self, because the world desperately needs your unique voice. I'll see you in the next one.